to the Wednesday evening Quantum Healing Collective. Our primary purpose is to create a community of like-minded, like-hearted individuals that inspire, encourage, and support one another along our individual and collective journey towards personal transformation. Our focus does not rest upon what beliefs, habits, or behaviors have led us to this group, rather on the vision we hold for our future and how our growing collective can help support us in the achievement of our goals. We're not a religious group, nor do we follow a specific spiritual tradition. We respect and honor all forms of spiritual and personal growth so long as they cause no harm. We don't follow any specific literature at this time, and we're open to sharing the various methods of transformation that have worked for our members. Our group exists solely to support and inspire growth in the individual and the collective. So thanks again for everybody showing up tonight. And we have an awesome speaker who Tracy is going to introduce, and then she's going to lead us in a heart coherence meditation. So take it away, Tracy.
Thank you. And let me formally introduce Shayndel Kahn. I'm going to read her bio, and then I'm also going to share my personal experience with her. So she's a certified HeartMath coach and trainer. And so she is qualified, of course, to do the heart Lockin and many more. But in addition to her HeartMath training, she's an ordained Rabbinic Pastor, a chaplain, a spiritual director, a Cantorial Soloist, and she brings her love of music and healing to all that she does. So she's an avid student of all that heals, in her own words, and she's an avid student of all that heals and all that brings joy and love to the world. So now you can see why I love Shayndel. She's the mother of 2 distinct adult children who find their paths in a circuitous road, and she hopes she has cultivated that in them. I've known Shayndel for over a year now. We are in the same Heart Ambassador group that Kyle is also in. We meet weekly. I've heard her in many interactions, but we really got to know each other in January this year. We were at a 4-day polarity retreat, and that's when I got to see Shayndel's very deep, rich spirit. I don't know of very many people that are so authentic. Her voice, and when she speaks, it's coming fully from the heart. She's so connected to her heart, and so that's why I'm so excited to share her with all of you today. She inspires me to be authentic, as deeply authentic as she is. And I'm really grateful that you're here today, Shayndel. I'm so grateful it worked out that you could get your Zoom working to be here with us today, because I know that you're going to be sharing with us some of your stories, which you're such a great storyteller. But also, when we talked earlier this week, Shayndel, you touched my heart when you said that there was a point in your life when you knew that you were a spiritual healer using your voice. And that just intrigued me. And so I just really look forward to what you're going to share with us today and connect with us in the heart. So you can take it from here, Shayndel, and lead us into a heart Lockin and then begin your sharing.
Great, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So we'll do the heart Lockin by taking our attention and focusing it in the area around the heart. And just allow the breath to come in through the heart and go out through the heart. Breathing a little slower and a little deeper than usual. I see many people have their hands on their heart, and if that is helpful, by all means. I love just looking at that. Makes me smile when I see that. So just breathing in, perhaps for 5, going in, 5, going out, or whatever rhythm is comfortable for you. So this is just a heart focus and a heart focused breathing, which begins to settle the nervous system and begins to bring those heart rhythm patterns into a coherent pattern. Just breathe for another 30 seconds in through the heart, out through the heart. And now make a sincere attempt to experience a regenerative feeling such as appreciation or care for someone or something in your life. Activating that feeling, feeling that through the heart, and breathe that in and breathe that out. And this deep appreciation and gratitude, first send it to yourself. And send it into all the cells of your body. Now, breathing in this appreciation and gratitude, send it out. Send it out into the world, or maybe just to one person that you're thinking of that might need a little extra love and care. And we'll just take about 1 to 2 minutes in this soak of gratitude and love and appreciation as we breathe it in, and then we send it out, breathing it in and sending it out. Now just open your heart and open the ears of your heart to receive this song. Deep in the heart of the earth, a dream is waiting. Deep in the soul of us all, the dream is waking. We of the earth hear her call, and we answer. She is the music, and we are the dancers. Deep in the heart of the earth, a dream is waiting. Deep in the soul of us all, a dream is waking. We of the earth hear her call, and we answer. She is the music, and we are the dancers.
So good, Shayndel. So good, Shayndel.
So that song, after I talked with you, Tracy, that song just arrived, and I like had a few of the words, and I just wrote to my friend, "What is that? What are the words to that song?" So I'd love to share a little bit of my story, and then take you into a process. And so that song and then my story, which really is about following our hearts and following our intuition. And Tracy asked me some really wonderful questions, and I just kind of started telling the story of how I got here, and realized through that. But also, I just moved across the country. I'm from the Boston area. Well, originally from New York, but I've been living in Boston. I was living in Boston for a long time, and just moved to San Jose. So I found, as I was packing and getting rid of so much stuff, I found journals of, when I was a teenager, through adulthood, and lots of angst and, all that stuff. But I just kept seeing a thread throughout, even in my early journals of like, elementary school that I found. And the thread was that, like, I felt like God was with me. I felt this real like call of God always. Like there was always this trust and a sense of being guided, even in the like darkest, depressive times that I felt. So what got me here, and certainly to HeartMath, as well as I said, I'm kind of, I feel like I'm just a student of just taking in what I can receive for learning and growing and health and well-being, and and I just seem to land on these fabulous practices. So we won't be doing some, what was it, quantum jumping? We'll do a little more practical things, which maybe help you to jump. But anyway, so music for me, actually, even as a child, was a really big part of my life. And I was the kid that the grandparents would say, sing for us, sing for and I had a grandfather who actually wanted to be a showman, and he had a beautiful voice, and at all of the events, 25th anniversaries, he would sing to his beloved, my grandmother, and he'd sing a song, "I Love You," and he would just tell stories of how he really wanted to be a singer. And so, perhaps I received that gift from him. But so how did I become a rabbinic pastor? I actually have a degree in early childhood education, and I taught preschool for a really long time. And then I ended up doing a kind of a music program for children and their parents. And I do that for a really long time. And I entered this wonderful experience with these two wonderful women who created a program called Spirit Singing. And that just totally opened my heart, my soul, my voice. I started writing songs after that. And Spirit Singing is, if people are familiar with authentic movement, it's kind of like an authentic movement, except authentic voice. So you're being witnessed as you're singing without any words, but you're really going deep in just creating a song out of no words, just sound, and just following sound. It was just quite beautiful. And I signed up for their training to become a spirit song teacher. And there was one weekend when one of the facilitators, after I was done singing this song, a very, very intense, earthy song and, very spirited, she just looked at me and said, "I see you as a cantor." And I actually have the chills even just saying that, because when she said that, it just reverberated through my whole being. And she planted a seed that, 20 years later, I actually followed. But it was so like, I have chills again as I'm saying this, because it was so right on. And my body like went, yes. And my brain went, well, I don't know Hebrew. I don't read music, even though I'm a musician, and I'm a very intuitive musician. But so I, just thought, there's no way. But I had that vision and that seed that was planted deep in the earth, in the soil of my soul, that just like felt like, something was pulling me toward that at some point. And then at one point, my husband and my family had the opportunity to go to Israel, and we lived there for a year. So, and I say I have actually dyslexia of the tongue. I do that with English, and I was doing that with Hebrew words. But somehow the language, having it like in my ear and in my tongue, it gave me confidence that, I actually now have some Hebrew. And when we came back to Boston, I entered a cantorial program. And I finished the cantorial program with a degree in sacred music. And I applied for jobs, and I realized I am not a cantor in a like I'm a soul singer. I sing from my heart, my soul. It's spiritual music. It's not like jumping up and down and getting people to sing. I'm not a song leader. I did some of that with kids, and I hated it. It was like, this isn't me. Which is, again, going back to like following your authenticity and who you are and what speaks to your heart and soul. And, and I did that, that, and it was like, no. And so I applied for jobs as a cantor, and I realized, no, that's not it. And I went, well, what is it? And I went, music and healing. I need to combine those two. And I remembered, like, I saw an ad in some journal of heart music or something. I don't even know where it was and how I found it, but I saw this program. It's a music and healing for transition program. And I looked at it and went, wow, that sounds really good. And I just cut it out, put it away, and then at the moment when I went music and healing, I said, wow, that's it. And I knew exactly, and I'm not an organized person, but I knew exactly where that piece of paper was. And I signed up for this program, which, trains you to be a bedside musician and, work with dying patients, but work with dementia patients and, really matching people where they are, in the physiology of their breath. And when I graduated from that program, I realized that, being in that presence of and that frequency of love and just holding space was like beautiful, and I wanted to do more. So that's when I decided I really wanted to become a chaplain. And the rabbinic program that I trained at, was kind of the off the beaten path program. That I signed, they had a track for chaplaincy, and that's how I, and side by side they had a spiritual direction path as well. So I kind of signed up for both. And so that thread of being guided, that I talked about from, as I was opening those journals, and then talking with Tracy, really like landed again. I was like, yeah. So how do we follow our intuition? And I remember last week somebody even asked that, like, how do you know it's your heart speaking? Like, how do you know? And that's where HeartMath comes in. So, when you're regulating your emotional body, so when you're feeling stressed and you get those heart rhythms into that coherent pattern, which I think, Tracy, I know you talked about when you did your presentation, it just opens up, your brain to be more able to hear the wisdom of your heart. So I thought I'd take you into a process, but first I'd love to just hear from you if there are questions or comments or anything you want to say or add.
Thank you, Shayndel, for the song at the beginning and for sharing some of your story. And I would love to hear from the group as well, but I know that anything you can share about your experiences from the when you're singing and how it affects the people at bedside, or how your voice is a healing medium. Like I hear very clearly you're trusting your heart, but I do believe there's this vibration through voice, vibration through music, vibration through song that is very healing naturally, but you're actually specifically using it and resonating, like you said, with the people you're with. And I think that's just so cool. That
Yeah.
was just
Yeah. I mean, I've been at the bedside, well, certainly I'll just start with dementia patients. You start singing, anything by Frank Sinatra or Tony Bennett or, and they just wake up. So I have seen, patients that I've been with who weren't speaking, but were able to sing all the words. Just that part of the memory is still there. So that's just so fun to see. And I also started to do some movement therapy with that population, and again, they're just they just light up. They're just so excited to be singing and moving and doing something that opens their their field.
Yeah. I've been in international groups where the Africans will be singing and clapping and moving their body. They don't sit and listen to a meeting like this. I'm sure when they're doing Zoom calls in Africa, they're up dancing and singing and clapping because it just feels so good. You feel connected through that vibration and the group, just through that movement and that singing together. It's so rich for me.
Yeah. And the other thing is, working with dying patients, so the idea is, you really match their breath and their rhythm, and as they're, sometimes, dying people will be breathing really fast, and other times it's just really slow, but you just match, you entrain with them, and you match the music for that. So you're not singing a song.
Mm-hmm.
And one really profound experience was when I was with this patient who was really in her last breaths. I could tell, she was going to die in my presence, and her daughter-in-law was there, and I could see she was struggling, and her daughter-in-law said she was always struggling. It was part of her life. She just had such struggles in her life, and all of a sudden, I just closed my eyes and I started breathing. And the song, All My Trials, Lord, Will Soon Over arrived. That's the other thing. I just want to get these downloads of songs for the moment. And I started humming and then singing, All my trials, Lord, soon be over. And I would hum it. Within minutes, she passed away.
Wow.
So yeah. So it feels like a midwife of birth and a midwife of death. Is what I do.
Yeah. That's deep, Shayndel. You've seen probably a lot of death. How much? I mean.
Yeah, no, I have.
Yeah. Yeah. And help people transition. I love that. Well, we don't want to just have a conversation. Anybody want to ask a question or a comment or see how you're doing.
I just want to say thank you for your service. I think that's beautiful. You know, just send somebody off into that next realm on like a very peaceful vibration. So I'm incredibly grateful for your service. I'm thinking about my Nana right now. You know, like she's transitioning into that realm. Not like maybe right now, but I would love to find somebody like you to sing to her. How would I go about doing that?
Yeah. So where are you located?
Massachusetts, near Weymouth. Yeah, so she's in Hingham. She's right down the road. I could try singing to her, but I think you'd probably be better.
You know, I mean, I could certainly try doing it through phone, but there are, you know what, I could, I think she's like up in New Hampshire, but I can check in with a friend of mine who's also done this program. And she practitioners, and I can get her, I can give you her information.
Yeah. Thank you. That sounds so sweet, just having somebody to sing to her, you know. I appreciate that. So I just wanted to share that. If anyone else wants to speak or ask any questions, just raise your hand. Oh, I see Joe. Yeah.
Shayndel, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for that. I have a question regarding the way you channel this. Are you channeling like words, or is it more of a vibrational sound?
Yeah, that's a good question. It varies. I mean, mostly it's a song, when mostly like, I feel like I have, like I feel like I have heaven's jukebox. Like,
That's awesome. If you write an album, there's your name right there.
I feel like I have, I mean, I write my own music, but I've learned so many other people's spiritual music, and and just I don't know where, get in there, and then they just, so people now, like, if I'm in a circle, a healing circle, oh, do you have a song, Shayndel?
That's wild.
Somebody will say something, I don't know what you said, Tracy, but like that song deep in the heart for me, So
that's amazing.
And then the song arrives. And there are some times where, certainly like when I'm working with a dying patient, sometimes it's not words. Sometimes it's just more, just like a vibration will come in or sound. Because, as people are leaving, you don't want to do anything familiar. They're going off, and if you sing "God Bless America," like
why?
So yeah, or any or Frank Sinatra song. Although I suppose you can sing "My Way," and even so yeah, so it really varies.
That's so interesting. I absolutely love that, because I've never even heard of this type of channeling before. I mean, it's so interesting to see, because it's like when Tracy said a word, and it sparked a thought, and it's like I think about how all of us almost have this capability. Because if you've ever thought about a time where somebody will say something, especially if you're trying to figure something out, like if you're in the process of just working on somebody and somebody will just say something, you get like this automatic moment. So just having that feeling of you saying that, and then myself remembering a moment that I've had, like, oh yeah, like I remember someone saying something, and all of a sudden I get this like weird download of like something from nowhere. I feel like that's good for people to know, so that way if you're ever wondering where it's coming from, like what's the feeling, because I always do, that gives me a good like flag of like, okay, that's what that is.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think we all have it. Right? And I think, the more that we open to spirit and, to the higher, what you're all doing, just opening to the higher realms and transformation, the more that we tap into that, the more that we're able to, receive.
Yeah.
So,
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, you opened something up for me right there, because it kind of answered a question I've had about trying to decipher some moments, and that's going to give me a nice frame to put those moments when I have like that aha. So I really appreciate that.
Mm.
Beautiful voice too, by the way.
Yeah, I also wanted to say I really understand what Tracy meant when she said that you are one of the most authentic people that she knows, because I think only someone who's discovered that level of spiritual truth within themselves can deliver it in the way that you just did for our collective. It was really like I felt it in my heart, and my heart always knows the truth when it makes me cry for no reason. Like there's no real it's not like sadness or there's no emotion to it. It's just truth, and my eyes will, it's like this truth resonance. And when you were singing, like I felt that in my eyes, and it's like the soul recognizes that, and it's just such a beautiful thing to connect with people who have discovered that. And then you hold this space that shows other people what's possible for them in their life. And it's going to look different for everybody. You know, like I could never sing the way that you sing. And it's like this gift that you are designed by this creator to deliver into the world. And it's just amazing to know that you're out there doing it. So thank you for showing up and doing your soul's work in the world and doing it, you know, for our collective, because it was just so beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, and that, you know, we all, you know, the more that we show up authentically, the more that we change. Right. You know, like we all have that power to, you know, and you know, and HeartMath has been a really influential piece in the journey. I think for maybe 5 or 6, I don't even know, I've lost track, 7 years. You know, I mean, I think, you know, any kind of meditation and things that just ground you and open you and settle you, you know, taps into that authenticity. And, you know, and for a long time, you know, when I first started doing this, I was really shy about it, and, you know, oh, do I sing? Do I not? You know, and now it's like, no, this is like my gift. So like, why hold it back? And Marianne Williamson, you know, your power is that you're what is it, big? That you're, you know, be yeah, right, yeah. But it took a while to, you know, to really step into that. And I think partly, you know, because of the practices that you know, really enable me to open spirit. Like, yeah, what we're all here for, you know, be the change and do what we're here meant to do.
Yeah.
I see Claudia's hands up.
Where are you?
I'm
Hello?
right here.
Oh, I don't see you. Where are you? Are you on the phone?
Yeah, I think I took the video off.
Oh, yay! Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I just had to say hi, and I had to share with the group the amazing synchronicity that this is, because we worked together for a year on an intention group, and I saw your name and I saw your picture, but I was like, it's not clicking. I don't know why I didn't click until I saw your face in the video. And it's really just really sweet, because I knew what you did, and I've heard what you've did, and it was like one of my favorite parts of the meetings when you came up with a song. But it's just so beautiful to see you in this new light and in this new way, because I know you deeper now. And I just also wanted to say, it sounds really, really courageous that like you would study and go full in on something and then go, not it yet, and then keep following your heart. Like, that's super courageous. So thank you. It's just, yeah, super cool.
So Claudia and I did, I don't know if you've heard of Lynn McTaggart's work, but she does The Power of 8. And so we were in a year-long class, and we were in Power of 8, more like 13 group. That was on, creating intentions, and one of my intentions was to, sell my house, with ease and flow and divine timing, and happened.
And you moved across the country.
I still kind of have to like scratch my head and go, what?
Yeah.
Because it really wasn't easy. It really just magically, it felt like magic. It really did.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Well, I can lead you in a little heart practice from HeartMath. And this is about your heart's intuitive guidance. So once we get into that coherence, that coherent place, we are able to hear more readily. So is that okay with you if we did that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But real quick, share the story of when you were in the bathroom when you put this to practice.
Right. Boys.
Remember your story about your boss calling you into HR and you put this into practice in the bathroom? Just real quick, it's a good story.
So, so I do not underestimate the power of just heart-focused breathing. That's like the tool that, that builds on all the other tools in HeartMath. But just doing heart-focused breathing, and certainly when I work with people who are really anxious and, their nervous system is so fired, it's like that's where we start. It's like we don't do anything else, but it's like you just keep practicing that throughout the day. So it was probably like maybe a few months into my HeartMath practice that I, was taking a class and I was practicing. And so I wasn't like in a stress. And the thing is, you do this when you're not stressed. So when a stressful situation comes up, you have the tool. It's like starting to get ingrained in your body. And so I was practicing, and I went on vacation, and I came back, and my boss said, I did not give you permission to go on vacation. I need to see you in HR in 5 minutes. So my physiology went into, fight and flight, and and I went into the bathroom, and I just did heart-focused breathing. I just breathed in through my heart and breathed out through my heart. And I did that for, felt like hours. It was probably, maybe 3 minutes at the most. I don't know how long I was there. And I went into the meeting with him and the HR person, and I kept, and that's wonderful about these tools is you could do them anywhere, anytime. So, so I had I didn't have to be there with my eyes closed, and I just kept breathing in through my heart and out through my heart and in through my heart while the conversation was happening. And it was like, and this was really, I think, like what solidified, like, okay, I'm in HeartMath. I'm here for the long haul, because like something like happened in my brain, and it was like almost like I went to like the balcony, which is what, one of the mediators talks about. Like I just went to this like level of looking down at what was happening, and I was able, like my ears felt like they opened. And I heard like what happened, like how, what my part of it was and what his part of it was, and, yeah, I did leave going, asshole, I didn't totally like, get happy about what happened, but I did shift my perspective and my conversation with him. So like, even though he wasn't able to hear, well, I was, and, I could have gone so many different ways. I could have quit my job and lost my job. I could have been fired, if I went in there with, screaming and yelling. So it was a very profound experience of how powerful heart-focused breathing is. And I, just invite you to just practice that throughout your week, you know, like a few times a day and see what happens. So yeah, I forgot about that. I think in the bathroom, what did I do in the bathroom? Thank you. So we'll begin with that heart focused breathing. But before we do, why don't you just take a minute to think about like a question you have that you would really like an answer to, or maybe a problem that you feel like is just not quite letting up, or, you know, you just want an answer and, you know, your monkey mind is not helping to figure it out. So just kind of think about that for a minute. Everybody have something? All right. So we're going to now just let that problem and thing that you want an answer to disappear. And, you know, we're just going to let it go for now. We're going to go to our heart focus breathing. So take your attention and focus it in the area around the heart. And allow your breath to flow in through the heart or the chest area and out of your heart. Breathing a little slower and a little deeper than usual. Again, if it helps, to count for 5 going in, 5 going out. Just allowing this breath to settle your system. And now making a sincere attempt to activate a rejuvenated feeling as care and gratitude. And just breathe in through the heart and out through the heart. Something that you are so grateful for, or maybe some things you are grateful for. The more that you breathe in those places of gratitude, the more that your heart rhythms get coherent. Breathe in that gratitude and breathe it out. And if for some reason, like right now, you don't feel like you have anything, then just go to compassion. Be compassionate for yourself. Just really soak in this gratitude. Breathing that in and breathing that out. And now from this more objective place, this coherent place, ask yourself for your heart's guidance. Or ask what would be a more efficient or effective attitude, action, or solution. Just breathe in what you hear. If you have a piece of paper or something to write on, just write it down, what you heard. Maybe it was just a phrase or a picture or a movement. And perhaps you didn't hear anything right now, but know that you are leaving a message for your heart. And it will get back to you just by asking the question. All right, and whenever you're ready, we'll come back together. And would anyone like to share anything about that? What your experience was?
Personally, for me, I have, you know, a situation where, like, kind of like you, where when you were in that spot where you did your all to like build up this career to get to a point where you thought it was the one, and then you realized it wasn't. So, and you knew you wanted to do something else. I've been in that spot, and I'm grateful for my job, but I know what I want, like really what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I asked my heart, like, what am I supposed to be doing? And it said, handle it with grace, you know, instead of like a jackrabbit. Because like the monkey mind is like, this has to happen tomorrow. But my heart said, if you handle it with grace, all will unfold. Just keep moving passionately in the direction of your dreams with grace, and it will be okay. So that's, my heart usually says cool things like that.
Intelligence. It has its own nervous system and it connects to the brain, and it's amazing, the messages. And they're usually like short little messages. They're not like, you know, it's succinct, you know, for me, you know, I find it, certainly with people I work with, you know, they're just these like just go to grace. It will unfold, you know.
Like subtle but profound.
Anyone else want to share?
Quiet group tonight.
Wash up and get ready for bed in that case.
So maybe we could just take a minute right now to just take our attention back to our heart.
Okay.
And breathe in through the heart, out through the heart. And breathe in compassion and care and love for humanity right now. We don't know why sometimes we just have our hearts to love, and it just points that we need to take our hearts and point it in that direction so that we can really be that vehicle for love and caring for those who are hurting. And if you are one of those people, then please reach out to somebody so that they can care for you, because it is such a gift for us to care for each other. So whether you care for someone or someone cares for you, it's a beautiful dance that we do together. Just breathe in that love and breathe that out. And I'll offer you this angel song about being guided. Angels are guiding you, angels protecting you, angels are with you now and always. Angels are healing you, angels are loving you, angels are with you now and always. Angels protecting you, angels are guiding you, angels are blessing you, blessing your way. Angels are healing you, angels are loving you, angels are with you now and always, now and